how's it going? I'm Mish. I am so excited to hang out with you today. I'm going to be talking about eyeshadow. I'm going to be sharing with you an eyeshadow technique that you can use with any eyeshadow palette. Keep in mind, I am still testing out the Makeup Revolution products. I've got one more week of testing those out. My final thoughts video will be coming out a week from today, so next Monday. Be sure to watch out for that. The video following that will be my final thoughts video on the Derma E products that I've been testing out for a couple months now. And I'm going to be sharing with you the next line of products that I'm going to be trying out for my skincare. I'm going to be using this eyeshadow technique with two different palettes today. We're going to have so much fun trying this out. So on this side, I'm going to be using the MAC Paint Pot Eye Primer in the shade Soft Ochre. And then on this side, I'm going to be using the NYX eyeshadow base in the color White. And then on this side, my right side, I've got the Wet n Wild Colourpop. The palette's name is Walking on Eggshells. So these are pretty basic colors, nothing too dramatic. And then on this side where I've got the NYX eyeshadow base, I'm going to be using this Makeup Revolution yellow palette. It is so pretty. I'm so excited for this video. I don't have any makeup on here whatsoever. I've just done my morning skincare routine. We're going to start off with primer. My favorite way to apply primer is with my fingers. I like it to be warmed up. I've got the pink pot, just gonna rub it in just a little bit and get that everywhere. It's drying down just a tinge, so I'm gonna grab some more. Then I've got the NYX. This one works really well when it's warmed up first too. Just rubbing it in my finger, and it is white. It's perfect when you want those bright colors to really shine. These are going to take just a minute or two to set in. Next up, I'm going to do under my eyes. I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So to give it another minute or two, I'm going to be doing my eyebrows real quick. I'm going to be using the Colourpop Brow Boss today. I'm going to start with outlining where I want it to go. I'm going to start with the top part again and outline exactly where I want it to go. Comb it through. This side is definitely darker, so I'm going to fill in this side just a bit more. I'll turn this way so you can get a better view. That's feeling pretty good. Typically the NYX will crease, so I'm going to just pat that crease out real quick. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out the transition shade in both palettes. So on this one, I'm going to look for the transition shade. That's typically one that is an in-between color between the lightest and the darkest part. It's going to be one of these two. I could use either one. The thing is, this one is more matte. This one has a little bit of a shimmer. I am more pro matte for transition shades, so it's going to go right here. What a transition shade is it's going to help blend whatever light color is up here and blend it in with whatever color you use on the lid here or in the outer corner. So I'm really feeling this one for my transition shade on the Makeup Revolution. Let's walk through this together. So here's the lightest ones, this one, and then the darkest is this one and this one. So really I could probably use one of these two. These are a good like medium color. It's a tricky one. So I'm gonna blend them. I'm gonna start with the Wet n Wild side first. So I've got this shade here. I'm just gonna go tap tap just a little bit. There is a lot coming off. So I'm looking at my eye. I want it to hit right about here and come down right below where my eye creases. You see where it creases right there? So I want it to be right below. I've got that same brush. I am wiping it off. This is a pretty basic brush. With the Makeup Revolution, I'm going to be mixing these. So I'm going to go dab in the orange, dab in the yellow. I'm going to push it in right where I want it. Oh, that color is so bright. With this one, it's interesting. Dabbing works better to place the eyeshadow. And I'm just going to do wiper motions to help it blend just a little bit. So I've got it right up here. That's where I want it to go. I'm wiping my brush off right now. I'm going to go over the edges and blend. So now we're going to move on to lids. And lid is this part here. It's from the crease down to where your lashes are. I'm picking which color here I want on my lid. So I'm trying to decide between these two. So I'm going to try mixing them. This one is the darkest. I'm saving that for the far outer corner. I'm just going to mix these two. And I really prefer using my finger. I'm just pushing it in. I want my inner corner to look a little bit brighter. You don't have to. You could just put the one color on your lid. You could stop here, call it good. In this palette, I'm gonna pick just the pinky shade. I'm not gonna mix them again. Put it on the inner corner of my lid. And then I'm pulling it into the middle part to blend it. And then I've got all that on my finger, so I'm gonna rub it off. I've got a lovely towel here that I'm using. I just keep it on my lap. I want my inner corner to be a little bit brighter. It's gonna open up my eye. From the same palette, I'm gonna grab this really pretty white shade. I'm gonna press it right here. So I'm going back to this palette. I do want a shimmer side on this part as well. I like these two colors. They both have a good shimmer, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. It's brighter. So I'm using my finger again, just rubbing it in, and I'm gonna push it on. I have a lot falling down beneath. That's okay, that happens. I want this side to brighten up just a little bit more. So from this palette, I'm gonna grab this top shade. I wipe my finger off. I'm gonna go try this one. It has a little less shimmer to it, and it's got a wider background. So I'm hoping it'll show up better. Just push it on again. Lids are looking pretty good. Now what I want is a little more definition on the outside corner. You don't have to do this part. You could stop here and just wipe the under part and blend. It's going back to the Wet n Wild palette here. I'm going to go in with the darkest shade. I'm going to go in with a very dense circle brush. I'm just going to do little swirls here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push it on where I want it, and I want it to go a little bit above my crease. It'll make my eyes look bigger. Don't worry, right now it looks kind of crazy, but it will all be blended in. I'm wiping my brush off. I don't want any more on here. I like where the brown is. And now, time to blend. I'm gonna bring it in, bring it along my crease just a little bit. Then small circular motions to blend that in. I'm not super happy with that, so I'm going in with my finger to see if that application would be better. So now I've got a big fluffy brush, and I'm going over all of it to blend it in, get out any lines or creases that there might be. I've got some fallout here. I'm just going to take my towel and wipe. I'm being very soft under my eyes when I use the towel. That's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to do the outer corner on the fun side with the Makeup Revolution. Either a very matte one or a very shimmer one. So I'm going to go with the shimmer side. This time, I'm going to go in with more of a flathead brush. Just do a little dab dab. I'm going to put it on the exact same positioning on the outer corner. And press it in. That's not depositing the color, so I'm going to try brushing it. That's looking pretty good, but I do want it more pigmented. I'm going to use my finger now, just rubbing it in the color. I'm going to push it on where I want it. Some palettes are better applied with fingers, some are better applied with brushes. You just kind of have to play with them, really. Just have fun. Now I'm going to take that exact same fluffy brush, wiping it off, and blending it. These colors are so much fun. Oh my gosh, so this side is like super shimmer, and this side is a little bit of shimmer. It's looking awesome. And here is again another stopping part. You don't have to keep going, especially if you don't have time, you're running late or whatever. So now what I'm going to do is I've gone back into that Wet n Wild palette. I've dipped it in the lightest shade. I'm going to use this as my eyebrow highlight. I'm going right to the top part of my arch and blending it down. This one, I want it to go down just a little bit more to blend. I'm going to go back in with that transition shade. That's the second one in. That's the middle color. So again, I'm going to deposit right where I want it. I'm going to blend it with that highlight color I just put on and blend it with the colors down below. Taking that same fluffy brush. I'm going to go back over to the Makeup Revolution side. I'm using that same brush. It's kind of flat. Wiping it off on my lovely towel. And now I need the lightest shade. So it could be this one or this one. If I was doing matte shades, I would use this one. But this one is super shimmery. I'm going to stick with the theme. So I'm going to be using the white. Just going dab, 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 dab. Tapping off the excess because there was a lot. Going right at the arc of my brow and bringing it down. I really want to emphasize under my brow. So I'm going to draw a straight line there. Blend it in. I'm using a very light hand with this. Then I've got my little fluffy brush again. I'm going to go back in with the transition shade, the yellow and the orange, and just blend it very softly. Using a light hand, going over exactly where I want it to go. I'm not liking this outer color. I want it blended a little bit more. So I've got my mostly dense brush. Just going over that again till I like it. There was a lot of fallout, which is fine. That happens, so I am brushing it away. Wiping. You can even take a big fluffy brush and just go wipe. Again, this is another stopping part. If you don't want to do anything else, really you can stop here. I want to put a little bit under my eyes, just a little bit. So on the natural side, I'm going to grab that transition shade again with this brush. It is very flat, it is very dense. There you go. So I'm just going to tap it into that transition shade. Just literally tap, tap. And then I'm literally going to press it right where my eyelashes are on my bottom lid. I just did the transition shade right here. Over here though, I do want it to be more fun. I am going to start on my inner corner. I'm going to do the white color since that's what I used on my inner corner of the lid. Take that golden shade I used on that lid part, blending it to the front and the back. That darker shimmer shade, and dab dab just a little bit and press it on the outer corner. That's it. You're done. I'm going to use that big fluffy brush again and wipe away the extra. I'm gonna just top it off with some mascara. I've got the Makeup Revolution. It's the waterproof one. So what I'm doing is I'm starting at the base of my lashes and wiggling up, blinking to get the back part. Now I'm just going to lightly go over the bottom. Okay, there you have it. That's a basic technique that you can use with literally any eyeshadow palette. I used it with a natural one, with a Wet n Wild palette, and then I used it with a really fun color with Makeup Revolution. This video was a lot of fun for me to film. I hope you guys have fun at home trying this out. It's makeup. It's meant to be fun. You know, try a color you haven't tried before. Try a mascara that you've been wanting to dig into. It's just about having fun. It really is. I hope that you learned something from this or you took away something. I'm gonna go walk around my house looking like this because I look awesome. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I'm looking forward to chatting with you again next Monday. Remember to be kind and love. Bye.